Hello, my name is Larry Burkholder, Training Manager, Digger Specialties, manufacturer of the PolyRail vinyl railing system. We have our adjustable post mounts installed and the sleeves and flares installed, and we're now ready to take a 6-foot section and cut it down to a specific length. As you look, we have an odd length. When we say it's a 6-foot section, that's post wall to post wall, and we're going to cut this down to 61 7/8 inches. Now this is pretty easy to do in this particular scenario without using any type of tape measure. I'm simply going to take a square, and on both ends I'm going to make sure that my space here from my first baluster hole, which is not going to be used, is going to be equal on both ends. So I'm able to eyeball that. So I'm able to just take this straight edge and draw a straight line straight across, and that is going to be where I'm going to cut these rails. Off camera, I'm going to take these rails to a chop saw, which is going to have a carbide tip blade. I'm going to cut both the vinyl rail and the aluminum inside on one cut, and I'm going to do the cuts on both ends. Okay, I have my rails cut to length. I've double checked that both of them are going to fit nicely in between the posts. I've taken the tape measure, and I have a 3 5/8 first baluster spacing on this side and a 3 5/8 first baluster spacing this side. We're now ready to install the bottom rail. There's a PVC block that comes with this that I have attached the PVC block to the bottom rail support, and we're now ready to install the bottom rail support on the bottom of the bottom rail. And of course this is hollow. This, of course, is going through the vinyl and into the U-shaped extrusion inside the vinyl. Bottom rail support is now installed. We have now emptied our hardware pack. We have the longer screws to go through the bracketry into the posts, and we have the shorter screws to go into the sides of the bracket, into the aluminum, through the vinyl into the aluminum in the bottom and the top rail. We have the bottom rail hardware and the top rail hardware for both ends. So what we're going to do is we're going to install or slide over the bottom rail hardware. Make sure you have this portion facing towards the bottom, and this will just slide over. And you want to repeat sliding this hardware over the bottom rail at the other end. Then what you're ready to do is I have the level on the post. You're ready to slide the hardware up against the post, and we're going to attach this with 4 screws. I'm ready to install the screws through the bottom rail bracketry and through the vinyl sleeve and into the adjustable post mount. Now we're ready to use the smaller screw and attach the bottom rail to the bracketry, screwing through the vinyl and through the aluminum insert inside the bottom rail. Now we're ready to install the covers to hide all the screws. This is a male-female tension fit, so you line those pin points up. And it works best if you have a rubber mallet with white rubber, so the black rubber doesn't mar your vinyl. But this is simply several taps to get things into position. We're now ready to insert our balusters into the bottom rail. On the longer lengths, this was a 6-foot section. There is 1, 2, sometimes 3 balusters that are notched. Those, of course, are the center balusters, so I'm going to put that in the center here. And that just notches into place. The rest are not notched, and you simply slide them into position. Since this was a cut down, we have 2 balusters left over. We're now ready to install the top rail. I have the bracket slid over the top rail with the portion that's going to be attached to the post, facing the post. I have the first 2 balusters started, and we simply work down through and insert all the balusters into position. When you have all your balusters partially seated in the hole, notice this notch baluster is preventing this from seated, so it's a couple friendly taps with your rubber mallet. And everything is in position, ready to attach the hardware. We're now ready to attach the top rail hardware to the post and then attach the top rail to the bracket. So we'll attach to the post first. And then we'll use the shorter screw to attach the bracket to the rail. And repeat that on the other end as well. We're now ready to attach the cover to the top rail bracket. This is a male-female tension fit. Just line up the holes and snap in place. And you're ready to put your caps in place. Usually some type of PVC cement. You have a choice of a flat cap or a trim cap. You're of course going to repeat that on the other end of the system. And we're going to call this installation complete. Thank you for watching this PolyRail TRX vinyl railing installation procedure. Have a great day.